A teenager recovers from her accident injuries while telling others to treasure their own young lives.
The grand jury transcript in the T.J. Weber case reveals details about the double murder and rape he's charged with committing.
And threats of replacement workers aren't daunting the picketers at Cat Bus. We're live with the latest as a midnight deadline looms. Channel 8 Eyewitness.
Watching Channel 8 Eyewitness News, the news leader.
An emotional message tonight for teenage drivers from someone who has seen the deadly consequences of reckless driving. Good evening, I'm Paula Francis.
And I'm John Gilbert, in for Gary, who's on medical leave. It's been about 3 weeks since Kiley Quinn was in a crash that killed 2 of her Las Vegas high school friends.
The school year is coming to an end, and the 15-year-old survivor wants to urge her fellow students to drive safely at all times. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Carol Wilkinson joins us with the latest. Carol.
Well, John and Paula, as John just mentioned, it has been about 3 weeks since that deadly car crash that killed 2 of her friends and seriously injured Kiley Quinn and 2 other girls. Now, through the experience, Quinn says she has learned some painful lessons that she wants to share with others her age.
My legs were they felt like when your legs fall asleep, but they were really painful and like little needles stabbing you all over, and when they pulled up it was just really hard.
The memories of the accident still haunt her, yet some would call Kiley Quinn's survival miraculous. Her body is on the mend after being broken and bruised in the accident that killed 2 of her friends and seriously injured Kiley and 2 others.
You wake up with pain, you go to sleep with pain. It's really hard. I mean, nightmares of your friends.
But summer vacation is coming, and Quinn wants other teens to know that the tragedy that touched her life can happen to anyone.
I know graduation is coming and all the parties. I just want you guys to think twice before you get in the car and play around, because it only takes a second to take your friend's life or ruin your life for the rest of your life. And I just want you guys to think we're not invincible.
The 15-year-old realizes that the road to recovery will be a long and bumpy one. But she says the daily routine of physical therapy is helping her to heal and allowing her to have hope.
I just hope I walk again, run again, be normal, play softball again, and just do things I did before the accident.
We hope so, too. Now, Kiley Quinn says if all goes as planned, she will be released from the rehabilitation center and allowed to go home by next Friday.
Tough way to gain wisdom, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. They say that experience is it keeps a dear school, so she has learned some lessons that she's willing to share.
Thanks, Carol.
You're welcome.
Teenagers have found a new type of drug to get high on, and alarmingly, it's as easy to get as walking into a convenience store. Energy pills like these contain ephedrine and are usually used as a pick-me-up by truckers. They're sold over the counter in most convenience stores, but now teens are taking them at high doses, which can end up causing dangerous health problems.
Their heart rate's going to speed up, their thinking is going to cloud, but one of the main problems is going to be heart rate, which then leads to high blood pressure.
Basically, they're taken by kids basically for the effect that they have, because it's kind of like methamphetamine.
Ephedrine's also found in diet pills. Doctors say if the energy pills are taken in high doses and if you already have health problems, it could lead to stroke or heart attack. But if they are used properly and only once in a while, they are perfectly safe.
A Valley teenager received a national honor today for her work educating students about destructive behavior. 17-year-old Ashley Connors was chosen from among 750,000 participants as the Students Against Destructive Decisions Student of the Year. Connors was honored for her dedication to promoting responsibility among local teens, urging them to avoid destructive behavior.
I do it because it's in my heart and I'm out there to make a difference and I want to help people. And I tell them it's all about the conviction inside of your own heart. If you're willing to stand up and tell yourself that you can do it, then you can.
Ashley also received a $1,000 check from SAD, which will go toward her college education.
The district attorney's office tonight released the grand jury transcripts in the case against Timmy Weber, the man accused of killing his girlfriend, Kim Gauthier, and her teenage son, Anthony, in April. Weber also allegedly raped Gauthier's underage daughter. Police mounted a huge search for Weber and finally found him in a North Las Vegas trailer home April 28th. Weber faces 18 felony charges. The 300 pages of grand jury testimony include testimony from Chris Gauthier, the surviving son, describing how he and his sister learned their mother and brother had been murdered. Talking about waiting for the trooper to search his house, he says when the one came back from the victim one's room, he had a face of like a horrid look on his face, like something bad had happened. He goes on to say, I just had a feeling in my heart that something happened to my brother. Grand jury also heard testimony from Chris Gauthier's sister, who says she was tied up with tape and raped by Weber. Weber's trial has been set for January 6th.
A worker at a senior citizens center has been arrested for sexually abusing elderly patients. Augusto Valle was arrested yesterday in North Las Vegas. Police say Valle inappropriately touched 7 patients at the Hollyhock Adult Daycare Center. The center is run by the nonprofit Economic Opportunity Board. In a statement, the EOB spokesperson says the center is upset about the incident, but wants the community to know that the adults and seniors at Hollyhock are safe and secure. Hundreds of CAT bus drivers remain on the picket line tonight. They say they'll risk their jobs and a lot more to get what they feel is right. Eyewitness News is live. Renata Troiani joins us from Cheyenne and Simmons with the latest. Renata.
Well, Paula, ATC now says they will stop paying for these strikers' health insurance if they don't cross this line and come back to work in less than an hour before 12:01 Saturday. These strikers say it's not threats that will make them come back.
You're Charlie the Scab.
At the bus yard in North Las Vegas, you can see the same sights and hear the same sounds that have been echoing for the past 2 weeks.
Buddy, you're on your own now.
But tonight, these bus drivers are fighting for more than higher pay and benefits. They're fighting for their jobs.
See all of us out here? We're all sticking together.
Got to stop threatening us. It doesn't work. We are united. We are together. It does not work.
Because these drivers rejected ATC's last offer, a take-it-or-leave-it deal, ATC has now started advertising for permanent replacements.
We're just going to keep focusing on bringing people back across the line by bringing people in from out of town and hiring new operators.
And on top of threatening to give the jobs away, ATC says as of 12:01 Saturday morning, the company will stop all support for the strikers' health benefits.
For the company to make a statement that we don't have any insurance, to me, is just another scare tactic to try to get us to cross the line and go back to work for them.
Have fun on your 15-hour drive.
I've been living in Nevada off and on since 1968. I know how to stay, don't step on nails or whatever else. So I really don't need any anyway.
These strikers say they'll do what they have to do, but they're not giving up the fight.
And I'll stay out here until the sun don't come up.
Now, even if the company does stop paying for these strikers' health benefits, they still have the option to pay for them on their own. By the way, there is no new negotiations planned. Renata Troiani, Channel 8 Eyewitness News, live.
Thanks, Renata. Tourism officials are calling this past Memorial Day weekend an indication that the Las Vegas economy is slowly recovering. A spokesman for the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority says the city attracted about 275,000 visitors. That's roughly the same number of visitors as Memorial Day weekend last year. But he adds the September 11th tragedy continues to have a negative impact.
Even though on weekends, for instance, we may have the same numbers of people in town some weekends, spending is still down. Room rates are lower than they were a year ago. Gaming revenues are down from a year ago. So certainly a lot of that has to do with the recovering from September 11th.
Tourism officials say they are still optimistic about a full economic recovery, but they add reaching that point will take some time.
The FBI now has a new directive to help in the fight against terrorism on the home front. The new agent in charge of the Las Vegas FBI office today talked about the changes that will be made here.
The FBI will carefully evaluate the use of expanded authority, and it is our intent to continue to safeguard the civil rights of all citizens.
Knowlton also told Channel 8 Eyewitness News that if anything, she would like to request extra resources here in Las Vegas to make sure Homeland Defense is a priority. A call tonight for airports to drop some of the extra security measures added after September 11th. American Airlines Chief Executive Donald Carty told the American Chamber of Commerce in Tokyo today that he believes screening passengers at the gate after doing so at the security checkpoints added to costs and customer hassles. He also said he believes terrorists will not attack an airliner again because of the increased security.
Homeless people are being encouraged to make their voices heard by way of the ballot box. The League of Women Voters helped homeless people register to vote today. They say it's important for everyone's vote to be counted. Homeless advocates are also heading onto the streets to get the word out.
Just because you don't have a home doesn't mean that you don't have rights still within, our society. You may not have a home, but you still have a country.
I'm hoping that it will make a difference, that people will see, and that also the senators and the Mayor Goodman will see that there's some people out here that do need some attention and guidance.
The homeless say they are eager to speak out now that they've finally been given the chance. They just hope that politicians will listen. While one Valley group tends to the voting rights of the homeless, another is tending to a more immediate need, food. Little Caesars Mobile Pizza Love Kitchen delivered to Catholic Charities today. The 45-foot pizza kitchen on wheels travels to soup kitchens in the U.S. and Canada year-round. Food is donated by local Little Caesars operators.
A shark attacked a California surfer. We'll show you what happened and how the critically injured man reached shore.
Climbers and their rescuers are back on solid ground after a mountain rescue attempt takes a dramatic twist.
Director Steven Spielberg gets a tassel and a title to add to his list of accomplishments.
And Los Angeles is leaping past the Kings. Chris Matthews will have complete highlights coming up later in sports.
I'm Kevin Jamison of the Channel 8 Weather Office. Strong gusty winds have just moved through the Las Vegas Valley. We'll tell you how strong and how long they'll stick around. We'll also have the latest forecast for the weekend and the next 7 days and all your neighborhood weather. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes. But look at this near Valley View in Charleston, 96, 16 now 17 mile-per-hour wind, and it's gusted to 40. We'll be right back.
You're watching Channel 8 Eyewitness News at 11 with Paula Francis, Gary Waddell, neighborhood weather with Kevin Janison, and sports with Chris Matthews. Channel 8 Eyewitness News, the news leader.
A 24-year-old California surfer is in critical condition tonight after being attacked by a shark at Stinson Beach in Marin County, California. Lee Fonten suffered serious bite wounds to his left shoulder and leg. Witnesses say a shark with a 12 to 15-inch dorsal fin pulled him off his surfboard. Fonten managed to fight the shark off and get back on his board and was then helped to shore by fellow surfers. A warning for Americans living in India and Pakistan tonight. Pack your bags and get out. With threats of war between India and Pakistan looming, Americans are being warned to get out as soon as possible. And a travel warning has been reissued for that region. Both nations are locked in a dispute over the Kashmir region, and both countries have nuclear weapons.
Tensions have risen to serious levels, and the risk of intensified military hostilities between India and Pakistan cannot be ruled out.
President Bush has ordered his top negotiators, including Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld, to the region to try to resolve the situation quickly.
A dangerous rescue mission on Oregon's Mount Hood is finally over tonight, and those who survived are calling it a miracle. Yesterday, a Black Hawk helicopter crashed while attempting to rescue a group of stranded climbers on Mount Hood. Amazingly, despite the tumble the chopper took down the slope, no one in it was killed. The chopper had already rescued several injured climbers when it's believed strong winds forced it down. Investigators say the pilot somehow managed to steer away from those still on the ground.
The helicopter wouldn't have been going the way it was going. We would have lost quite a few more people. And again, as far as I'm concerned, it was a heroic act.
3 of the 9 climbers died when one of their team slipped into a crevasse, dragging the others with him. The other climbers and the rescue crew are being treated for various injuries, none of them critical. Former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani was the man of the hour at today's graduation ceremony in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. A small town of just over 200 is where hijacked The hijacked United Airlines Flight 93 crashed on September 11th. Students at the local high school asked the former mayor to be the keynote speaker, impressed after seeing how he led New York City through those dark hours. Giuliani told students to be strong and proud as they face their future, and he said acts of bravery and courage overwhelm acts of terror and hatred.
Kevin Jennison now with a look at the weather and a little bit of gusting wind out there.
Yeah, it's fired up. A little disturbance moving through the central part of the state, and because of the stronger winds that we've had in parts of the valley, a couple of power hiccups have happened. There was even a quick outage as well over the south end of town. Let's begin, though, with pictures from the northeast where strong thunderstorms. Look at the wind blowing the garbage cans. These pictures out of West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Then about the same time, the line of thunderstorms produced a tornado, and this damage in Johnstown, New York. And the lightning, the thunder, and of course the strong winds also hit Manchester, Connecticut. It's been a wild day in the northeast. Those storms now weakening as they continue to push to the south-southeast. Here's real-time neighborhood weather. We'll begin in North Las Vegas near ML King and Cary. 95 degrees still at 11, 17 and some change. The breeze at 12 and 13, having gusted up there to 41 miles per hour. Near Eastern and Charleston in the middle of town, an 11-mile-per-hour breeze and still 96. Up near Buffalo and Cheyenne in the northwest, 94 and about 10 miles per hour. And in Boulder City, 89, the wind calming down, but it did gust to 50 miles per hour within the last couple of hours. Temperatures in neighborhoods across the valley generally in the 90s. That wind, it creates friction in the atmosphere, so it keeps the numbers up. 97 near Cary and Hollywood. It's 93 near Charleston and Torrey Pines, and 90 near Durango and Warm Springs. The mountains at 63. Death Valley still at 100, and out at the Lake Mead Marina, it's 98. Here are your peak wind gusts in neighborhoods across town tonight. A gust of 47 up near Cary and Hollywood, a gust of 42 near Charleston and Torrey Pines. Outside the valley, the strongest gust, as we mentioned, was in Boulder City. Time for a new anemometer in Overton there. And there was a gust to 36 miles per hour out at the lake. High temperatures today. Again, the story 110s near Flamingo and Boulder Highway, also up near Cary and Hollywood. Cooler, though, or not as hot as you move westward across town. 80 on the mountain all the way up to Death Valley, leading the way at 112. At McCarran, the top temperature 104, tied the record high for the second day in a row. That record standing for 5 years and 10 degrees above normal on both sides. In the car, the carmometer hit 124. The filtered sunshine, because of the high clouds, kept it from being too stifling inside the car. Air quality in the good category today, so some good news there. Around the west, Phoenix hit 107, Salt Lake City at 93, as was Denver, and Reno, too, at 93 degrees. Around the country, there's that line of thunderstorms in the northeast, weakening now as it's pushing into Virginia, and the stronger ones out off into the Atlantic. As far as we're concerned, see these storms that developed, this little disturbance in central California, central Nevada that tripped off these storms, also responsible for the wind we're experiencing this evening. The wind should back off a little bit late tonight, but as this system moves in, it'll eventually push our clouds off to the east. Everything will be moving west to east, and we'll get a new batch of wind tomorrow afternoon that may linger into Sunday. So your Friday night forecast, gusty at times, but we do expect these winds to back off late. 78 for the low temperature. That's it. And you know, if these winds keep up too late, we might not even get down to 78. Tomorrow, sunny, becoming breezy in the afternoon. There still will be a few lingering morning clouds, but by midday they'll be gone. 99 the high, some neighborhoods in the lower 100s. And your 7-day forecast, still breezy on Sunday, but not quite as windy. A little cooler. We start next week, you know, with this June thing happening here in about an hour. Relatively mild, but, you know, when that June thing happens, you know, the triple digits.
Get out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Run for cover. The triple digits are never too far away.
Thanks, Kevin.
Okay.
More than 3 decades after dropping out of school, director Steven Spielberg today became a college graduate.
The 3-time Oscar winner re-enrolled at Cal State last spring, and since then has been secretly working online with fellow professors there to complete his requirements. He was presented with his Bachelor of Arts degree today. Spielberg himself did not speak on camera, but told reporters he wanted to accomplish this as a thank you to his parents and send a message to young people about the importance of education. Fellow graduates said they are proud of their famous classmates.
We've been hearing about him for a year, about how he left 3 years in. Professor told him he had no talent, and guess what? He was wrong.
Say, Steven, you want me on your team? I've suffered the same strife as you have. I think we have something in common.
Now, if you're wondering, to pass the advanced filmmaking class exam, Spielberg submitted this movie called Schindler's List. And needless to say, he passed with flying colors, huh? Not a bad. I better get an A+, huh?
That's nice, thanking his parents. So, Chris, what's happening with this game?
NBA playoffs. Wow, another thrilling game. They've all been great, haven't they? Yeah. Here's another good one. This will be cited in Game 7 now. How the West was won or being won. LA's big gun wasn't firing blanks. Not tonight. Highlights and more coming up next right here on Channel 8.
When it comes to local news, no one covers the Valley like Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
They have a hostage situation.
Everybody saw the contract!
I'm John Gilbert. We're committed to bringing you the best news coverage in the area. News can happen anywhere and at any moment, but we know that when a story breaks, you want the news fast. News that's clear, accurate, and reliable. The kind of news you'll only get from the most experienced news team in Southern Nevada. Channel 8 Eyewitness News, the news leader.
It had been 2 years since the Lakers played an elimination game, Game 6 at the Staples Center. Hey, if you were in Los Angeles, all your neighbors showed up, pinching pennies for front row seats. The drama unfolding on court, big thumbs up. Like the previous 5, another tight one. Sacramento's Weber knocks down 2 of his 26. Shaq unstoppable inside. 2 on the spin, plus 1 O'Neal, 41 points. He was even hitting free throws. Divac wasn't a factor, later fouled out, but gets 2 here. Kings by 1. Let's move to the second. Kings by 1. Kobe ties it up. It was up. He had 31. Now a minute to play. Lakers, O'Neal, spin, scores. He also had 17 boards. Lakers delivered the knockout blow. There will be a Game 7. Los Angeles wins it 106-102.
But tonight I just wanted to pick it up a little, so I told the fellas just throw me the ball and move.
Yeah, our confidence hasn't wavered since the beginning of the series. As far as going up the Arco and playing the Game 7, it's going to be fun.
I mean, you could go what if, all day if you want, but I mean, that's why we play them. We got one more left.
I mean, it's a hell of a series. It's 2 very good teams, and they did what they had to take it to Game 7, and now we've got to respond back at our place.
All right, the Lakers and Kings play Sunday. Lem Banker telling us the Kings are 2-point favorites. New Jersey, the Nets 1 win away from the NBA Finals. They just needed to get by Boston. Game 6, Nets jumped out to an 11-point lead. Boston answers. First half, here's Kenny Anderson to Antoine Walker. Nice shot. Later, it's Anderson again. 2 of his 14 first half points. They led 54-44 at halftime. Second half, Nets playing catch-up. Keith Van Horn, the long 2-pointer. Then Jason Kidd scores another triple-double, but off the miss here, Kenyon Martin with the flush. Late in the game, Nets by 3 with the shot clock expiring. Keith Van Horn, bullseye. Nets are heading to the NBA Finals, beating Boston 96-88. Before we leave hoops, the Sunrise and Sunset Senior All-Star Game tonight over at Foothill High. The best of the best seniors lacing them up. Sunset in the white jerseys. Here they come. Alley-oop. Matthews from Western jams at home. But Sunrise had Derek Brown and his posse, and they end up winning the game 84-82. NHL's Western Conference Final Game 7. It's the Avs and Red Wings, supposed to be a classic goalie matchup between Patrick Waugh and Dominik Hasek. It was all one-sided. Never before has Patty been pasted like this. Seems he surrendered a goal on every shot on goal. It was ugly. Waugh got yanked as Detroit humbles Colorado 7-zip. They'll face Carolina now for the Stanley Cup Championship. It's officially countdown week as Tyson and Lewis enjoy some Southern hospitality. Mike Tyson arrived in Memphis this morning. He walked from plane to car. He didn't fly coach and didn't have anything to say. Maybe that's a good thing. Hey, hide your children, folks. About 3 hours later, Lennox Lewis touched down in Memphis. He didn't get whisked away, but jumped on his limo and paraded around town. The 2 fighters will not meet face-to-face until they fight next Saturday night. NCAA Golf Championships going on in Ohio. The Rebels still competing. How about this? There's Brandon Askew on hole number 10. Brandon and the rest of the Rebels need miracles. As a team, they're in 21st place at plus 19. Georgia Tech is leading at plus 1. UNLV's Ryan Moore is the top Rebel at 4 under. He is tied. There he is for 6th. World Cup soccer kicked off with Senegal, a former colony, in its first World Cup match playing France. Senegal has 53 professionals, half on the team. Senegal gained its independence from France in 1960. Now, 42 years later, boy, isn't independence wonderful.
Into the box, you played across, St. Marcus, rebound, goal! Pop, Bouba has scored the...
Senegal is a 200-1 long shot. They win 1-0. Half the population in that country is under 20 years of age, so dancing in order here. USA plays Poland next Wednesday, and by the way, the 51s lost to Tacoma tonight, 3-2.
Oh, too bad. Thanks, Chris. One enterprising businesswoman is grooming her way to success.
Up next, meet the woman who could soon be taking her love of animals to a home near you. When it comes to local news, no one covers the Valley like Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
They have a hostage situation.
Everybody saw the contract!
I'm John Gilbert. We're committed to bringing you the best news coverage in the area. News can happen anywhere and at any moment, but we know that when a story breaks, you want the news fast. News that's clear, accurate, and reliable. The kind of news you'll only get from the most experienced news team in Southern Nevada. Channel 8 Eyewitness News, the news leader. Have dog will travel is the motto for one up-and-coming businesswoman.
Jody Hicks spends her days traveling around Littleton, Colorado, taking her custom-made dog grooming trailer wherever it's needed. Hicks started Mobile Pet USA on the idea that many people didn't have time to take their pets to the groomers, so she made it easy and now comes right to the customer's door.
Service is only about 5 months old, but there's already a waiting list to meet demand. Hicks has started a training program and is working on franchising her business. Doggone it, huh?
Oh. You know, there are a couple of companies that do that here. You
sure.
See them,
Yeah,
I've seen them.
The pink one, yeah.
You see that pink van all around.
Yes.
Good advertising. I can't remember their name, but you see the
A lot
van.
of dogs in our neighborhoods, I guess.
Yeah, they're well groomed, aren't
Yeah,
they?
I see them all the
Well,
time.
for all those well-groomed dogs, tomorrow morning on the breakfast table, they will find a lunchbox with Alpo ready to go. High clouds, mid-80s by 8 a.m. already. We're on our way up to a high of 100. More sunshine in the afternoon, and it will become breezy again. These winds going on right now will back off as well. Enjoy your Alpo. Get down to the table early.
Thanks, Kevin. That's all for this Friday night edition of Eyewitness News Live at 11.
Dave Letterman is up next. Have a super weekend.